Welcome back to Stray Trains. In this video, we're going to take a look at all the rail projects that should be completed in the year of 2024 for the Metro Melbourne network. We're going to start off with the Extrapolis 2.0. Then we're going to head to the Metro Tunnel, which is probably the most highly anticipated project in many decades in Melbourne. Afterwards, we'll take a look at the level crossing removal projects, and then finish off with some fleet upgrades and what we can expect our trains to look like by the end of the year. I do say the word should, as all these projects should be completed in 2024, but I guess you just never know what the future holds. Hope you enjoy the video and can't wait for an exciting 2024. The Extrapolis 2.0. Whilst we won't actually see them enter service in 2024, this will be the year that we will probably see them run under their own power for the first time ever on our railways. Most likely on the Croydon line, as that's probably going to be where the main Extrapolis 2.0 workshops will be based. So probably that's where they're going to go for commissioning and start running tests on the Croydon line and possibly other lines throughout the year. Just to sort of recap, the high capacity metro trains ran on probably now almost about 10 different lines they have run on so far. Of course, only 3 in service, but have run various tests on other lines. Now, of course, the high-capacity metro trains took a number of years from running under their own power to running the first ever service. So, as a result, it is, again, unlikely we'll see the Extrapolis 2.0 actually run a service, but we definitely will see it, and I'd say almost definitely we will see it run on our railways, which is something very exciting. A little bit of info about them. There will be a 6-carriage configuration train, so similar to high-capacity metro trains, there will be one train and not coupled up, although they will have the ability to be coupled up, but only as 6-carriage trains. So maybe we'll see a 12-carriage Extrapolis 2.0 train. Who knows? They're also probably seen as almost like a high-capacity 2.0 in a sense. They look very similar to the high capacities on the interior, the PIDs, the handles, the doors are just some to name a few similarities. So they probably in one sense are almost an upgrade to the existing high-capacity metro trains, which is quite exciting. They will run eventually on the Upfield and Croydon lines before potentially making their way onto the Frankston lines in the future years. But for now, can't wait to see them run under their own power. It's definitely going to be an exciting stage of the Extrapolis 2.0 project. Maybe the most anticipated project in Melbourne's railways since the opening of the City Loop. 5 new stations and the joint through running of trains from Sunbury to Pakenham and Cranbourne will see the opening of the Metro Tunnel in probably September or so of 2024. Interestingly though, as of late 2023, there are actually 2 morning weekday services that will originate at Sunbury and run a Pakenham via Flinders Street service, giving us a little taste of the near future. These services are operated by high-capacity metro trains and are the 7:04 and 8:14 am up Sunbury service. In regards though to the loop, still quite a lot of work is needed despite huge progress in testing, but if all goes well, quite possibly during September the tunnel will open. In addition though to testing, the final touches are still required from a building standpoint. Staff training must be completed. In fact, there are actually public applications for job positions in the Metro Tunnel, so if you do fancy a career in the railways, this actually might be your calling. To give you an idea of how much staff training alone is needed, it is expected that the staff training will take a good 6 months. In addition to freeing up the Caulfield, Northern Loop and Flinders Street Station, the Metro Tunnel project will allow for the Sunbury line to become operated by 100% high-capacity metro trains, as right now, the only train that will be able to run through the Metro Tunnel will be a high-capacity metro train due to the CBTC signalling, which is only enabled on high-capacity metro trains. This would also make room for Common, Siemens and Extrapolis to return to regular service in the Caulfield Loop as part of Frankston services, although we'll talk about fleet allocation later on in the video. On the western side of things, Footscray will be the changeover point for passengers who wish to change from Werribee Williamstown services to an up Sunbury service to run via the Metro Tunnel. However, I'm not 100% sure what's going to happen on the east side of things. Right now, sometimes Melbourne or Caulfield, depending on time of day, is the last station towards the city where Frankston passengers can change to a Pakenham and Cranbourne service. Which means if you're on, for instance, the Sandy Line, you've got to go all the way to Caulfield or Malvern to change for a metro tunnel service or Flinders Street. So it is possible maybe Hawkesbury might eventually be serviced again by Pakenham and Cranbourne trains, though I'm not entirely sure. So we will definitely see a huge timetable change when the metro tunnel opens, which probably in my opinion is the most exciting bit of the project, but yeah, I'm a little biased, I guess. However, new stations don't stop there. Let's head now to the LXRP, otherwise known as the Level Crossing Removal Project. First up, we look at the Pakenham LXRP, which will see a new elevated Pakenham station as part of a 2.5 kilometre Skyrail, and the removal of 3 level crossings being Main Street, McGregor Road and Racecourse Road. Though we are not done yet. As part of the level crossing removal project in Pakenham, a new station will be built in East Pakenham Station, leading to the first electrified line extension since the Sydenham Line was extended to Sunbury in 2012. On a side note, the nearby high-capacity metro train major depot is named Pakenham East Depot. Not sure why they reversed the order of East and Pakenham, but there you go, I guess. Now, logic would also tell you that the Pakenham Line will be renamed the East Pakenham Line, as all lines in Melbourne are named by their final station. It will definitely feel odd, and I wouldn't be surprised if many people still refer to it as the Pakenham Line for years ahead, but it will probably be renamed to the East Pakenham Line. And finally, will we ever see a Comenge or Siemens to East Pakenham Station? Maybe, who knows? And if that is not enough for the Pakenham Line, we have Webb Street Level Crossing, which is already gone as a new Narre Warren elevated Skyrail station is being built. The new Narre Warren station will be 2-sided platforms as opposed to the demolished island platform. The station is expected to reopen in March. During this period, trains will run express from Hallam to Berwick on the new Skyrail, despite the station not being built yet, while a rail replacement bus shuttle will operate between Hallam, Narre Warren and Berwick stations. And now we head to probably the most controversial level crossing removal to be completed this year, and that is none other than the Parkdale project on the Frankston Line. In addition to Warrigal Road in Mentone, the adjacent level crossing to Parkdale Station, named Parkers Road, will be grade separated by a Skyrail leading to an elevated Parkdale Station. The new Parkdale Station is expected to likely open around September or October in 2024. Now, this is probably the most controversial level crossing because of the push under the hashtag Save Parkdale, little community group that was pushing to make Parkdale be designed as a trench as opposed to the Skyrail that is going ahead. There was a lot of community support for it, although a lot were happy with the Skyrail. It was a very divisive topic, I guess. And turns out the initial plan of a Skyrail is what will remain. I think it will be a pretty good view though from the station, so I can't wait to check that out as well. In the meantime though, interestingly, to maintain services, trains are running on temporary tracks along Como Parade East, which is pretty cool. So that means there is no Parkdale station, trains are running express, but on separate temporary tracks while the eventual Skyrail is being built on roughly where the old tracks used to take place. We now head to the Burnley Group, where this year the Lilydale Line will become the first level crossing free line on the metro network thanks to a new Skyrail Croydon station and a new Ringwood East Trent station leading to Coolstore Road and Dublin Road respectively being rail crossing free. These new stations will likely open in spring. This project will also result in the subsequent closure of the Melbourne Avenue, otherwise Cave Hill Road, scheduled for January 24th. This road will be transformed into an underpass for cyclists and pedestrians only. The Ringwood level crossing removal project will also result in the removal of Bedford Road, which will make the Belgrave Line level crossing free all the way to Ferntree Gully. Now we head to the Mernda Line, where we look at Keon Park, which will be transformed into a Skyrail station and lead to the removal of the very busy Keon Parade level crossing. And guess what? This station will also open in spring. It does seem like a lot of new stations and possibly the Metro Tunnel will all open in spring this upcoming year. No doubt, probably the most anticipated time of the year. What makes the Keon Park level crossing project quite interesting is because of the requirement for Metro to have access to Epping workshops, which does lie on the Mernda Line and is the main extrapolis workshops across the network. The line won't be closed for very long. I believe the maximum at one time will be just 10 days or so. The midlife projects, the entire Siemens fleet and a decent portion of the extrapolis fleet are entering their midlife, roughly 20 years or so in service. As a result, they are receiving pretty significant refurbishment, leading to a number of changes. The most visible, probably for the extrapolis and Siemens, on the outside would have to be the yellow markings around the doors, and on the inside, probably the orange priority seating. For the Siemens, though, in particular, the DDU upgrades leading to new passenger information displays and new destination headboards are probably their biggest change. And for the extrapolis, probably the Indigenous livery set. That's probably the most noticeable extrapolis on the network. For the Comenge, the most noticeable upgrade the fleet is receiving is the new horn. Definitely much louder and sounds very different to the classic RVB. That is, at the time of making this video, a few months away from being retired from revenue service here in Melbourne. Although the Comenge are receiving other upgrades, some of the sets have started to receive emergency door releases, similar to what you see in the extrapolis train. So the Comenge are definitely going through some minor modifications, but still looking as good as always. And I think that will do it. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the video. No doubt an exciting year ahead here on the railways in Melbourne. Any projects you're excited for? Any that you thought I missed? And on that note, I think we'll leave it at that. Cheers.